Microsoft, the birds are disappointed.
I just wanted some sauce on those zingers.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show. I hope you're having an awesome day. First and foremost, make sure you subscribe to Review Tech USA. I upload content on a regular basis, and I stream on a fairly regular basis as well. And two, make sure you check out my ASMR channel called Tech25 ASMR. I have plenty of content lined up for this year, and even though I haven't uploaded in a bit over there, I have plenty of content already over on the channel as well. I'll have links to everything I mentioned below in the description and top pinned comment. So it seems that ever since Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard back in 2023, that they have completely lost the plot. It was weird because during the second part of the Xbox One generation, the 8th generation, it seemed like Microsoft was getting its act together and it learned from its mistakes, which Lord knows they made plenty during the 8th generation. And I was hoping that, all right, they're going to turn things around and they're going to add more competition to the gaming landscape. And competition is good for the consumer. The more competitive brands are out there, the better products that we get. But it seemed like they went in a completely wrong direction after they acquired Activision Blizzard. They were trying to sell the fact that owning these companies like Bethesda, Activision Blizzard, would allow them to bring better games. But that really didn't happen at all. They released absolutely terrible games like Redfall, and studios that Microsoft purchased like Tango Gameworks, they were behind The Evil Within, they closed that down. So they bought these studios, kind of like how Sony bought Blue Point Games, and they're about to close them. And you would hope that they bought these studios and it would give them better IPs, first-party IPs. No, that didn't happen. It did not happen at all. Then you could go into the multiple Xbox Series console price increases. You could go into the Game Pass Ultimate price increase where it went up to $30 a month. Then you go into the fact that Microsoft is releasing their games on their competitors' platforms. Halo Campaign Evolved, when it releases, is coming to the PlayStation day one. Combining everything together, it just seems like Microsoft was giving up on the Xbox brand. Well, now many are considering this the final nail in the coffin. This has been a planned retirement according to Phil Spencer, but Phil Spencer, as of February 23rd, is retiring from Xbox. Now, Phil Spencer has been with Microsoft since 1988. I didn't realize it went back that far, and he actually started working with Xbox right at the very beginning, back in 2001. And if you remember, after the disastrous launch of the Xbox One back in 2013, Phil Spencer actually took the helm as president of Xbox after Don Matrick, who created all this mess with Xbox, stepped aside. I remember one of the first things that Phil Spencer did was release a version of the Xbox One without Kinect, which before Phil Spencer, Microsoft swore they would never do. Now, this comes from IGN.com. This is interesting. Xbox president Sarah Bond, who many people thought, including me, that she would take over for Phil Spencer if he ever stepped down, is stepping down too. So the new CEO of the Microsoft gaming division is going to be Asha Sharma, currently the president of Microsoft's CoreAI product. Keep that in mind because she says something interesting in a statement that she released. Finally, Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty is being promoted to Chief Content Officer and will work closely with Sharma. Now, this is what Phil Spencer wrote in a staff email. Last fall, I shared with Satya that I was thinking about stepping back and starting the next chapter of my life. From that moment, we aligned on approaching this transition with intention, ensuring stability, and strengthening the foundation we've built. Xbox has always been more than a business. It's a vibrant community of players, creators, and teams who care deeply about what we build and how we build it. And it deserves a thoughtful, deliberate plan for the road ahead. And here it says how Phil Spencer is going to remain on an advisory role through the summer to make sure there's a smooth handoff. Now, the new Microsoft gaming CEO, Asha Sharma, wrote this in an email. My first job is simple. Understand what makes this work and protect it. That starts with 3 commitments. First, great games. Everything begins here. We must have great games beloved by players before we do anything. Unforgettable characters, stories that make us feel. innovative gameplay, and creative experiences. We will empower our studios, invest in iconic franchises, and back bold new ideas. We will take risks. We will enter new categories and markets where we can add real value, grounded in what players care about most. I promoted Matt Booty in honor of this commitment. He understands the craft and the challenges of building great games, has led teams that deliver award-winning work, and has earned the trust of game developers across the industry. Now, Matt Booty's been around for a minute. He's been part of Microsoft's gaming division since 2010. So we'll see what direction that he takes the Xbox brand in. Hopefully in a better direction, but I doubt it. Now, what Asha says here is interesting in her email. Second, the return of Xbox. We will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players, those who have invested with us for the past 25 years, and to the developers who build the expansive universes and experiences that are embraced by players across the world. We will celebrate our roots with a continued commitment to Xbox, starting with console, which has shaped who we are. It connects us to the players and fans who invest in Xbox and to the developers who build ambitious experiences for it, which, okay, that's corpo speak to, just it's boilerplate stuff that anyone would say. But one thing she says here is interesting. Everything else, again, corpo speak, blah, 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 blah. But listen to this. As monetization and AI evolve and influence this future, we will not chase short-term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. Okay. Games are always and will always be art crafted by humans and created with the most innovative technology provided by us. Black Ops 7 has something to say about not using AI slop, but sure. Okay. She's making a good statement, and she is making sure you know that she is not going to incorporate AI slop into the Xbox brand, which I find interesting that she called out AI slop, because for the past 2 years, she was responsible for Microsoft's CoreAI products. So now, like, to me, what it sounds like is, all right, they're going to find out that I was leading CoreAI, and I have to make sure that they're like, don't worry, even though I was in Microsoft's AI division for 2 years, I promise that we're not going to make AI slop here. Just like Micron, the memory manufacturer, promised that they weren't going to abandon the consumer base that helped build them to become what they were. Then, like a couple months later, they got rid of the crucial consumer brand of memory and now are just focusing on making memory for AI data centers. I'm not saying that she's doing this with her corpo speak, but as history has proven, a lot of times people in these roles will say that they're not going to do something, and then once they get in power, they do it. It happens time and time again. We'll see if she actually stands by her word, but since most times people in the corporate worlds don't, I don't have high hopes for her. I feel like what I want to say to Microsoft is similar to that Breaking Bad scene where Mike Ehrmantraut is talking to Walter White and he's about to get killed. And Mike says this:
"We had a good thing, you stupid son of a bitch."
I mean, let's keep it real. Even Phil Spencer said that Microsoft or Xbox never fully recovered from the disastrous Xbox One reveal and launch, but they were getting things in the right direction. I remember during the 8th generation when they came out with the Xbox One X, and it seemed like they were really getting back to focusing on gaming and pushing Xbox in the right direction. I knew it was going to take years to do, but I was like, all right, Phil Spencer seems to be doing a really good job. He seems very pro-consumer. Things are going to work out. And then the 9th generation happened. I mean, when the Xbox Series consoles were first revealed, I was like, all right, this seems great. It seemed that the hardware seems like it's more than capable enough. It seems like they have their stuff together. Microsoft was already acquiring studios at this point when the 9th gen consoles launched. I don't really see how Microsoft could screw this up. And then they screwed it up anyway. And it seemed to accelerate after they bought Activision Blizzard. It just seemed like now that they have all of these huge developers and publishers under their belt, they just stopped caring about their hardware. I mean, to have multiple price increases on your Series S and X consoles in a year towards the later, or as some may say, the end of life of a console generation is insane. You are paying more for a Series S and X now than you were at launch. And that has never, ever, ever happened before. And then you combine all of the nonsense they did. Like, hey, your phone, I don't have my phone here, of course. Your phone is an Xbox. This bird could be an Xbox. And all these, they're like, no matter what device you have, you could play Xbox games, which I get. Like, Phil Spencer pushed that a lot. And I get on the surface where it seemed like a good idea. But if there's no incentive to be in the Xbox ecosystem, which you would get to by being on one of their specific pieces of hardware, then what the hell is the point of Xbox? Now, you could argue that other brands, Sony's trickles their games out on different platforms. Nintendo, they don't. But they're not, Microsoft isn't the only ones that did that, but not to the same degree that Microsoft did it. They have been releasing games on both PC and their consoles for at the same time, day one, for years now. And if there's no incentive to buy a specific piece of hardware due to the content that's on it, because you could get that content anywhere, what the hell is the point of having that hardware? It just doesn't make sense. So them pushing that this is an Xbox, meaning that anything you purchase is an Xbox, is laughable and ridiculous. And I think that hurt the brand. Then what Microsoft swears is going to be their bread and butter is Game Pass. And the thing about that is, in 2025, let this sink in. Microsoft always goes, the value of Game Pass, the value of Game Pass. But here's the thing, 40% of those games were considered shovelware. That's almost half of them. So this service that Microsoft swears is going to be the future of their company, Xbox Game Pass, that Microsoft is desperately trying to sell you on, saying that it's a great value. Instead of buying these games at $50 a pop or $60 a pop or 70 or 80, you could get them right on Xbox Game Pass. In between the mounds of shovelware we shove in there too to justify the existence of Game Pass. It just isn't a good look. And then they're increasing the price of Ultimate while 40% of their games on Game Pass are shovelware. No, man, that's not it. And look, when it comes to Asha Sharma, the new CEO of Xbox, I do wish her well, and I hope that that statement she made that she's not going to put out AI slop is true. But I have a hard time believing that when her job literally right before becoming the CEO of Xbox was being the head of Microsoft's AI division for 2 years. How are you going to do that? Go into the Xbox brand and say, no, we're not doing AI slop, when your job was literally leading the AI slop division of Microsoft. I wish her well. I hope that she proves me wrong, but I have a feeling that email that she sent out is nothing more than an email, and Microsoft is going to do what they're going to do with Xbox no matter what they say. They're going to say one thing and do something completely different, but at that point, only time will tell. But I do feel that this was the inevitable end conclusion to Xbox, and in my mind, as of now, officially, Xbox is dead. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.